The human gut operates as a massive, highly coordinated biological arena. But in conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, this internal playing field becomes intensely sensitive, overreacting to the slightest movements of normal digestion. The disruption usually begins with specific invading teams known as FODMAPs. These are small, fermentable carbohydrates found in everyday foods that enter the digestive tract acting like chaotic, uncoordinated players. Because the body lacks the specific enzymes needed to break these particular carbohydrates down smoothly, they remain entirely intact. Their presence triggers a cascading series of physical disruptions that travel down the entire length of the gut. Understanding exactly how these undigested food teams physically damage the biological arena is the very first step to stopping the pain, and doing so without permanently banning every food from the diet. This diagram shows osmotic water draw. The adsorbed sugar molecules pull excess fluid across the intestinal barrier, flushing sugars into the lower colon. Resident bacteria swarm these sugars, releasing massive amounts of gas. This sudden gas production forces the gut walls outward, creating intense bloating pressure. Banning all of these fermentable carbohydrates permanently would starve the digestive system of nutrients. Instead, the body requires a systematic tournament to identify the exact biological culprits causing the pressure. The first phase of this tournament is the elimination timeout. For 2 to 6 weeks, all high FODMAP carbohydrate teams are completely benched and removed from the daily diet. Keeping these specific fermentable foods out of the arena actively starves the gas-producing bacteria. Without their fuel source, colonic fermentation comes to a complete halt. As the gas dissipates, the stretched intestinal walls finally shrink back down. This structural relief lets the irritated, overstimulated gut nerves calm and stabilize. This resting period allows the gut nerves to gradually recalibrate. By removing constant physical irritation, the nerves stop sending frantic distress signals to the brain, establishing a baseline of quiet stability within the digestive arena. Until this biological alarm system is completely powered down and reset to neutral, it is scientifically impossible to accurately test which specific foods will trigger a physical reaction. With the arena now completely quiet, the qualification matches begin. One specific food group is brought back onto the field in gradually increasing amounts over 3 days. During a biological stress test, active transport proteins act as mechanical gates to safely carry fructose through the intestinal wall. If incoming sugar exceeds available gates, fructose malabsorption, excess sugar flows directly into the colon. Bacteria instantly resume fermentation, generating gas and physical pain. Testing progressively larger portions over several days identifies the exact threshold where a food transforms from a harmless teammate into a trigger. This locates the body's precise tolerance limits, allowing for customized portion sizes. Certain tough food teams can be made significantly safer for the gut through hydrothermal processing, the simple application of heat and boiling water. Boiling heat physically destroys the rigid plant cell walls of foods like beans and chickpeas. As those walls break apart, the hot water actively washes away water-soluble, gas-producing anti-nutrients before they ever enter the human body. This microscopic view reveals starch gelatinization. The tightly locked starch granules absorb the hot water, causing them to swell up and dramatically uncoil. These transform into soft, relaxed biological chains that your digestive enzymes can now easily break down. Proper hydrothermal preparation essentially pre-digests difficult carbohydrates. It ensures they are absorbed early in the small intestine and never reach the colonic bacteria to cause a reaction. The elimination tournament officially concludes by generating a highly personalized roster. This is a unique, verified list of tolerated carbohydrates, perfectly mapped to an individual's specific biological limits. The tournament seeks to identify the absolute maximum variety of foods the body can safely handle. Finding these individual tolerance limits allows for a diverse menu rather than a life of permanent restriction. Returning a wide variety of plant fibers to the active diet provides essential prebiotic fuel. This fuel directly nourishes the gut microbiome, a vast community of helpful microbes living in the large intestine. A moment of wonder. This cinematic cross-section shows the final result, a thriving intestinal ecosystem.
A continuously well-fed microbial community actively reinforces the intestinal walls, building a thick, defensive mucus barrier that makes the gut highly resilient against future physical stressors. By following this systematic protocol, a sensitive gut gains a map of its own biological limits. The result is a stable, diverse, and well-nourished digestive system that functions without the constant threat of pain.